Hi there, welcome back to English with GMC. I hope you are doing well. Are you doing well? Amazing, good to know. So, my name is Mahesh, your favorite English teacher. So, in my previous episode, I talked about myself, why I became an English teacher, and why you have to learn English, things like that. If you haven't, listen to it. I highly suggest that you go ahead and take a look at it right now because there's a lot of things you can learn from it. Because this podcast is going to help you out improve your speaking skills as well as listening skills. So the more you listen, the better you become. So try and listen to my podcasts every single day to get better. Okay? So in the previous episode, I told you that I would give you some methods and techniques to improve your speaking skills. So here I am about to give you everything I have. So get a pen and paper and we are about to start. Okay guys, welcome back. So what are the tips? What are the methods that you can follow to improve your speaking skills? I'm perfectly sure that you guys are beginners or maybe you are in the intermediate level. But it doesn't matter what level you are. Sometimes you are uncertain about the things that you are planning to say in English. I can totally relate to that. It makes sense because it's not our main language. It's not our mother tongue. So sometimes it's very difficult for us to speak in a foreign language out of nowhere. So in order to get rid of that fear or that difficulty in speaking English, I'm going to give you the first method, the first tip. Okay, so this is what you can do. This is an old-fashioned method, but it worked for me, and I suppose it will work for you as well. So this is what you have to do. You need to find a mirror. You have to put on some proper clothes for this. Find a mirror and walk in front of it and talk to yourself in English. In the first few minutes, you will feel uncomfortable about it, but gradually you will be okay. All right. So sometimes we don't like to look at us when we speak English, but the more you do it, the better you become. The more you do it, the less uncomfortable it gets. Okay. Keep doing. You'll be fine. If you run out of ideas, if you run out of things that you ask from yourself, Google some questions. Google some interview questions and ask everything from yourself. Okay, that's the first step. Start doing it right now. Even right after you listen to this podcast, I just want you to find a mirror and start doing it for at least 5 minutes every single day. When you speak, open up your mouth, use your muscles on your face and speak. Don't be afraid because we have nothing to lose, but you know what things we can gain after learning this beautiful language. So imagine yourself speaking good English, visualize yourself speaking good English, and you are good to go. Okay? Alright, so the next method you can use is, it's going to be a little bit complicated in the beginning, but gradually it'll be okay. So, like I mentioned before, I was trying to learn English myself back in the old days. That's why I came up with this idea of talking to the mirror, which helped me a lot. But the older I got, the more I realized that it was not enough for me to practice English. That's when I wanted to find people and talk to them in English in person. Okay, so now I had to find somebody to speak in English with. But unfortunately, I could not find anybody who liked to speak in English with me. So I took off. I went to Colombo, I went to Kolpiti and Bambalapiti to talk to people in English, but nobody talked to me. So whenever I asked them a question, they kind of turned around and fled. They just left. Then I came up with a brilliant idea. So if I become a customer, they have to talk to me. So almost all the shops in Kolpiti and Bambalapiti, people there speak English, right? Mostly Muslim people will be there, and Muslim people do speak good English. So what I did was I went into several shops one after another, and I started talking to them in English. I mean, there were phone shops, computer shops. So I went inside. I was like, "Hi there, how's it going?" Then they said, "We are doing great, sir. How can I help you?" "Yes, I'm looking for a mobile phone. Do you guys have mobile phones?" "Or I'm looking for a laptop. What type of laptops do you have?" So I asked them multiple questions over and over again. In the beginning, it was uncomfortable, but gradually it was okay. But the thing is, I did not have money to buy any product whatsoever, but at least I had a nice conversation with them. In the end, I said, "Okay, you know what? I'll come back later." So I mean, I had this thought planned already. I had it already in my mind, because if anything goes wrong, I have to get something prepared for myself. Otherwise, the situation gets worse. You know what I'm saying? There should be getaway sentence for me. I would call it a getaway sentence. Okay? So I just said the sentence, I left the shop. And I did it for nearly 6 or 7 or 8 months continuously, every single day, almost every single day. And it helped me so much. It did wonders for me, guys. So those are the main tips that I can share with you today. Talking to the mirror and finding people who can speak English with you. Okay? And the third tip is, I watched so many English movies. I listen to a lot of podcasts like this. I still listen to podcasts like this. Okay? So every single time I watched a new movie, a new film, I could come across a lot of beautiful words. Sometimes I ended up writing certain words in my notebook. Then what I did was I kind of tried to use those words that I learned in my own sentences when I speak. So those things were really helpful in my first few stages, guys. So talking to the mirror, finding people to speak in English with, and watching movies. Those are the main 3 steps. Those are the main 3 methods I specifically used to master my language skills. In the first stage, of course. But gradually I had to come up with something else as well. I will get into all those steps, all those techniques later. Not in this episode, because I'm going to end the episode right now because it's almost 10 minutes. So if you have any problem whatsoever, feel free to ask me anything, guys. Comment section is totally free. You can ask me anything you want. I'm more than happy to help you out. Like I said before, I am a qualified teacher. I am qualified enough to teach you. I am qualified enough to give you instructions on how to be a good English speaker. So ask me anything. Alright, guys. With that being said, I'm going to stop recording right now. I will see you later. Goodbye and take care.